Well, good morning, folks. As you can see, not in a car this morning, not getting coffee, and not going to the chiropractor. I am actually in the airport and heading to yet another city to go spread the good word. Actually, no, that's not what I'm there for this time. I'm actually doing some consulting work, and so I am heading out to that direction this morning early. But I realized this past weekend I was at a conference, and so I actually did not have time to get this week's video recorded and edited, so we're doing this instead. So this morning I wanted to talk to you a little bit about coaching, which is something that is a passion of mine that is kind of one of the big reasons why I wanted to start a lot of these processes anyway. I mean, obviously, with a nickname like the Citrix coach, you might expect that that's important, but we haven't talked about it yet. So what is coaching? So there's a couple different things that people misconceive about coaches. So the first thing is that a coach is there to help you along the way, to point out things that you're not seeing because you're too close to the situation. So sometimes a coach can be someone who will give you direction, but not necessarily someone who's there to teach you. So you learn the skills, you are responsible for upgrading your own skills, that sort of thing. But the coach is there to point out things that you're maybe missing, maybe point out some ways to improve, that sort of thing. And so that is kind of key to what you do in coaching, even in a technology world or in a career world. A lot of people think in terms of sports, things like that when it comes to coaching. And the reality is that a lot of coaching you'll find out there in the world is much more based around just the simple concept of what can I do to improve. Now, here's the thing. Unfortunately, a lot of people will never get coaching, and that's a shame, because in my life, coaching has actually been the difference of just doing a job and getting by, and sure, maybe being happy enough, I guess, sometimes, or making enough income, to truly doing what I'm happy with in the world and truly making an impact and that sort of thing. So that's why having a coach is important. In sports, a lot of times, it's almost impossible to have a team without a coach, obviously, but it's more about individual growth. An individual player can't really truly grow without having a coach instructing them and giving them corrections and making it so that they are understanding the things they're doing wrong so they can make adjustments and be better. So if you are someone who is of the mindset that you could be better than you are right now, what you need in your life is not more books or more rah-rah speeches or more whatever. What you really need is a coach. And so that is why I have been devoting this part of my life to coaching, is so I can provide that service. I'm loving the light here, the sun shining right at me. So that is why I'm doing this. So how do I know if coaching is right for me? Like I said, you really, if you are someone who is, I hate to say success oriented, that's not exactly right. It's more of improvement oriented. If you are someone who is committed to improving where you are, then coaching is a good fit. I'm trying to think of the best way to say this. I'll give you an example. and I think he's pretty much okay with me saying this. So, my friend and fellow Citrix technology advocate, Benjamin, is actually somebody who I've coached as well. And even in some very brief coaching with me, we recognized that there was a lot more potential for his career than he currently had. And in the course of talking with him, I noticed there were some elements of him making a good mentor, and that he could potentially use that as a career option, basically, and maybe not something that he realized would be not only a way to improve, but also to kind of get a little career upgrade. And so we talked through, okay, what would be a plan of action to do this, and what would be the benefits, what would that look like, that sort of thing. And I'll tell you, I'm really proud of him, because right away he put things in motion and drew up a plan and went through with it. And next thing you know, exactly what we planned on started happening. He started mentoring, and his went to his people with a plan to improve, and they were ecstatic. And yeah, so it's one of those cool little stories that really gets me going. So yeah, so coaching is something that I'm very passionate about. I mean, anybody can teach skills, right? But it takes something unique to be someone who's willing to coach someone else. It also takes somebody unique to willing to be coached. And so what I'll say is, if that is you, then try that again. Airports are the worst for trying to record anything, but that's okay. We'll get to it. So if you are somebody who is ready to take your career to the next level, then you might want to seek out a coach, and that's what I'm passionate about. That's what I'm doing. And so if you want to work with me, you can go to citrixcoach.com and set up a time to meet with me, and we can see where we can go from there. Other than that, I do encourage you, it doesn't have to be me, just work with someone. Get that visibility into what you could improve, and don't just count on yourself. In the IT world, especially, that could be the difference between a promotion or not, a new career or not, being a successful consultant or not. That sounds simple enough. But honestly, the truth is that could be the difference of, well, in my case, it was the difference of literally more than, let's do the math on this, more than $60,000 a year. Is that worth spending a little bit of investment in some coaching to get you to that point? I would hope so. So if you can spend, like $1,000 a month to work with a good quality coach that's going to put you in a course of action that's going to net you $60,000 a year, yeah, that's something that's worth considering. So I encourage you to do that, to look for a qualified and coach you can work with that is a good fit for that, if that's what you want. If that's not for you, if you think you're just going to be someone who's going to be able to do it on your own, great. I look forward to seeing you out here. But if not, then maybe it's time. So, yeah, I encourage you to take that next step. And in everything you do, no matter what it is, I always encourage you to leave that thing better than you found it. All right? Take those little steps today. Talk to you guys later.